Do you really need to lift the Jeep Gladiator to get the look? And what are the benefits of not lifting? Well, good morning everybody. How are you today? Pretty good here. And do you really need to lift the Jeep Gladiator to get the look? You know, that awesome truck look? I would say, first off, the short answer is no, you don't. But what are the benefits of not lifting? First of all, take a look. I mean, I don't know. I could be a bit biased because it is my Jeep Gladiator, right? But I think it looks absolutely awesome. And my truck, minus the dirt on the hood there, is not lifted. All that's been done to this truck, other than some cosmetic things, are the wheels and tires. I did change the wheels and tires. So you could say, yeah, it does have a little bit of a lift because honestly, we do get a little bit of a lift with the tires. But let's get into it. First of all, what are the benefits of not lifting your Jeep Gladiator? Well, obviously, the money. You know, it's going to cost you, I would say, to do a cheap lift. The least expensive but best lift you can probably get for that kind of money is about $1,600 to $2,000, something like that. And that's pretty much a block and spacer, maybe different shocks, different coils in the front, something like that. That's pretty much it. Now, you can spend way more money on that, and folks do. You can spend thousands. But the money that you're going to save in not lifting, definitely a plus. Let's talk about ride quality. You know, I've lifted three trucks actually, 2 Toyota Tacomas and 1 Toyota Tundra. And excluding the Tundra, I did lose some ride quality. You know, the ride got stiffer, it was more firm, really hit the bumps and stuff on the road, you know. Now, that's great for off-roading. You want a nice firm suspension for off-roading, right? Hitting those ruts, rocks, all that good stuff. But let's be honest. How much time do you really spend in your Jeep Gladiator off-road? If you're like me and many others, I think 94% of us, you spend probably most of your time on road. So comfort is important. And you're going to lose some of that if you go ahead with a lift. I know. I've experienced it. Next up, let's talk about warranty. A lot of people, rightfully so, are concerned about warranty. You know, the Gladiator hasn't been out that long, and I would say pretty much almost everyone on the road is still under warranty, so that's something that you have to consider. Now, the big thing with warranty is, just to kind of clear that up a little bit, any part that fails that can be declined of warranty would have to have been affected by any mod that you do. So in other words, if you lift your Jeep Gladiator and let's say, I don't know, the dome light inside the truck goes out for some reason. Well, that would still be covered under warranty because lifting it did not directly, I don't see how, impact that dome light. Now, I suppose if you had a very creative dealer and somehow they could figure out a way to connect the two, well, then maybe they could decline your warranty. But realistically, not going to be an issue. Now, if you lift the truck and let's say a shock blows or a coil breaks or something like that, suspension related, that can be directly attributed to that lift, well then you're going to have a problem and that repair is going to be on your dollar. So, something to consider. Warranty is always a potential issue depending on what goes wrong and what you actually do with your truck. What about the geometry change in the truck, right? I don't know if a lot of people think about this, but when you lift the truck, you're changing the geometry of the truck a bit, right? I mean, you're stretching things out, you're making it taller. That can create other issues. The way that it handles, the way that it feels, the way that it steers. There can be all kinds of other things that are impacted when you lift the truck, the geometry of the truck. It's going to change your viewpoint when you're inside, if that makes a difference. It's going to change how easy it is to get in and out of that truck. I mean, if you're not vertically gifted, I'm not, I'm 5'9.5", you're probably going to need side steps on the truck. You know, I have side steps on mine, you can see right there, and mine isn't lifted. And these are of pretty good benefit for me. I use them every time I get in and out of the truck, and I gotta say, unless you're probably over 6 foot, 6'2" and above, something like that, you're gonna need some kind of steps even if you don't lift the truck. So that's gonna be another expense and something that potentially, unless you put sliders on, are gonna get in the way when you're off-road. Last thing you wanna do is put a nice expensive set of steps on your Jeep and rip them off out on the trails. Something else to think about. Now, lastly, you can achieve a bit of a lift without actually touching the suspension. You know, no block and spacer lift, no new coils, no new shocks, nothing like that. And that's by putting on bigger tires. Fortunately, Jeep has enough room that you can add bigger wheels, or bigger tires anyway, without having to do anything. It's been reported, and I find this a little hard to believe myself, but they say that you can go up to 37-inch tires on the Jeep without actually doing anything else. I would think you'd have to do something with the front bumper, or at least remove those closeouts that in my case were once right here when the original bumper was there. But nonetheless, it's said that you can add 37s on the Jeep. I would think 35s are probably the max. What I have on mine right now, these round up to 33s, I believe. And I think the Jeep looks awesome with these. Now, it does give me a little bit of a lift, probably, if I recall, about a ½ an inch or something like that. So we're not talking anything huge, certainly nothing that's going to severely change the viewpoint from inside the truck. Although, I will say, and maybe it was just in my head, I don't know, but the truck did feel higher to me when I first got in it after putting these bigger tires on. I don't know, it was weird. It just felt like I was sitting a little bit further up in the air and my vantage point had changed a little bit. Again, I think that was probably all in my head, but who knows. So you can go with 33s. Obviously with 33s you don't have any issues. I will say with 33s you probably would have to go ahead and remove the closeouts that were in the front. I don't really have any issue with that because I put the Rubicon style stubby bumper on there, so I could go bigger, probably comfortably up to at least 35s. I think you go bigger and you kind of start to have to worry a little bit about back here and where the tire's going to hit on the fender. Obviously no issues in the back. The only problem would be if you're bouncing around off-road and for some reason the back of the truck's bouncing around, and maybe you could get into this little section back here, this inner fender, although I don't think that's probably really a problem. So anyway, just wanted to get on here, talk about that a little bit. You know, do you really need to lift your Jeep Gladiator to achieve the look? In my opinion, the answer is no. Now, I will preface that by saying that I do love lifted Jeeps. You just have to sacrifice a little bit if you're going to go that route. Obviously, there are some benefits to not lifting. Again, kind of have to measure that and decide what's important to you and what you're willing to sacrifice or give up if you do decide to lift your Jeep Gladiator. Leave a comment down below. Let me know. I'd be curious to hear, if you've lifted your Gladiator, are you happy with it? Have you noticed any change that maybe you weren't expecting or that you wish really wasn't there? I'd be curious to know. Also, if you're interested, check out my other channel. It is Rob Motive, all about my 2020 Toyota Tacoma back there. Don't forget to click that notification button so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.